The scent of lilies fills my lungs as I stand before the mirror, fingers trembling while adjusting my veil. This is what perfect happiness feels like. This lightness in my chest, this certainty that everything is exactly as it should be. The ivory silk of my wedding dress whispers against my skin with every breath. "You look absolutely radiant, Vi." Penelope's voice catches as she steps behind me, her reflection appearing beside mine. Her eyes are glistening. "I can't believe my best friend is getting married today." I turn and pull her into a tight hug, careful not to wrinkle either of our dresses. "I couldn't have done any of this without you, Pen. You're the sister I never had." She squeezes back and I breathe in her familiar jasmine perfume, the same scent that's accompanied every late-night confession, every celebration, every moment of crisis we've weathered together over the past decade. "Damien won't know what hit him," she says, pulling back to dab at her eyes. My heart flutters at his name. Damien, my almost husband, the man who walked into my coffee shop 2 years ago and changed everything with a crooked smile and a terrible pun about espresso. A knock at the door makes us both jump. "5 minutes, ladies." My mother figure Ella's voice carries through the wood, thick with emotion. "Ready?" Penelope asks, reaching for my bouquet. I nod, unable to speak past the lump in my throat. This is really happening. The ceremony passes in a blur of tears and smiles. Damien's eyes never leave mine as we exchange vows. When he kisses me, the chapel erupts in cheers, and I swear I can feel my heart expanding in my chest, too full of joy to be contained. Later, as the reception winds down, I slip away to freshen up. The bathroom door squeaks as I push it open, my heels clicking against the tile. I'm touching up my lipstick when I hear voices in the hallway. Can't keep doing this." Penelope's voice tight with tension. "Just a little longer." Damien's reply sends ice through my veins. What are they doing out there together? I ease the door open a crack, holding my breath. They're standing close, too close, heads bent together in intimate conversation. My stomach lurches. "She trusts me completely," Penelope whispers. "It makes me sick." "You're doing the right thing," Damien says. His hand comes up to touch her face in a gesture so familiar it makes my head spin. Everything will make sense soon. I let the door close silently, gripping the sink as the room tilts around me. This can't be happening. Not today, not them. My legs carry me automatically to the bridal suite where I'd gotten ready hours earlier. I need to think, to breathe, to make sense of what I just heard. Penelope's overnight bag sits in the corner, partially unzipped. Something compels me to look inside, maybe proof that I'm being paranoid, that I misunderstood. My fingers brush against velvet. I pull out a small box, my hands shaking so badly I almost drop it. When I open it, the diamond ring inside catches the light, sending prisms dancing across the wall. It's not my ring. Damien placed that on my finger less than 6 hours ago. This is different, newer. But the style is unmistakable. The same jeweler, the same taste. "Violet?" Damien's voice makes me jump. I spin around, the ring box still open in my hands. His eyes flick from my face to the box and back again. Something shifts in his expression. Not guilt or shock, but something colder. Calculating. "What is this?" My voice comes out steadier than I feel. He steps closer, hands raised like he's approaching a spooked animal. "You weren't supposed to find that yet." "Yet?" The word tastes like acid. "You'll understand in time." His tone is patronizing, like he's explaining something simple to a child. "Some things are more complicated than they appear." The box creaks in my grip. In this moment, I understand with perfect clarity that everything I thought I knew about my life, my love, my closest relationships, has been a carefully constructed lie. And as I stare into the eyes of the man I just promised forever to, I make a different kind of vow. One that has nothing to do with love and everything to do with justice. "You're right," I say, snapping the box closed. "Things are complicated, but they're about to get very, very simple." His smile falters just for a moment. It's enough to tell me he has no idea what I'm capable of, but he's going to find out. 3 weeks after my wedding, I'm sitting in our usual cafe, staring at Penelope across the table. She's stirring her latte with practiced casualness, like this is just another Thursday morning catch-up. Like she hasn't been sleeping with my husband. "You seem distant lately," she says, reaching across to touch my hand. I fight the urge to recoil. "Is everything okay with you and Damien?" The concern in her voice would be convincing if I hadn't heard her in that hallway. If I hadn't found the ring. If I hadn't spent the last 21 days piecing together 1,000 tiny moments that suddenly make horrible sense. "Actually," I keep my voice light, "I've been meaning to ask you something." I pull out my phone, scroll to the photo I found last night. "When was this taken?" Her face changes so subtly most people wouldn't notice, but I've known Penelope for 10 years. I see the micro-expression of panic before her features smooth into confusion. "Oh, that's from last summer. Remember? The company picnic at River Park?" The photo shows her and Damien at what looks like a family gathering. His arm is around her waist. They're both wearing wedding rings. "Funny," I say, zooming in on the date stamp, "because this was taken 2 years ago, before I even met Damien." The colour drains from her face. "Violet, I can explain." "Please do." My voice doesn't shake. I'm proud of that. Explain why my husband and best friend have a photo together from 2 years ago, wearing wedding rings, at what is clearly not a company picnic. She sets down her spoon with a sharp clink. "It's not what you think. What I think is that you're both liars." The words taste like battery acid. "What I think is that everything, our friendship, my marriage, has been some kind of elaborate game. We were trying to protect you." Her eyes dart to the door like she's planning an escape route. I laugh, and the sound makes the couple at the next table jump. "Protect me? By what? Orchestrating an entire fake relationship? Making me fall in love with a man who's apparently already married? To my best friend?" "It's complicated," she whispers. That seems to be everyone's favourite word lately. I stand up, my chair scraping against the floor. "But here's something simple. I trusted you. Both of you. And you've been playing me for a fool." "Vi, wait!" She grabs my wrist as I turn to leave. "There are things you don't understand. Things we couldn't tell you." I lean down close to her ear. "Let go of me, or I swear to God I will make a scene so spectacular this cafe will be talking about it for years." She releases me like my skin burns. As I walk away, I hear her frantically dialing her phone. Probably calling Damien. Good. Back at my apartment. Not our house, I couldn't stay there after finding the photo. I pull out my laptop. My hands hover over the keyboard as I consider my next move. A notification pops up. An email from Sella, a colleague I've worked with occasionally. "Urgent. Information you need to see. Call me." I hesitate. Sella and I aren't close, but she's always struck me as straightforward. No games, no hidden agendas. My phone feels heavy as I dial her number. "Thank God," she answers on the first ring. "I've been trying to figure out how to tell you this. Are you somewhere private?" "Yes. I found something in the quarterly audit. Financial transfers between accounts that didn't make sense. I started digging." She pauses. "Violet, your husband's been moving massive amounts of money through shell companies, and some of those transfers, they're linked to accounts in Penelope's name." The room spins slightly. "How long?" "At least 3 years, before you met him." Her voice softens. "There's more, but you should see it for yourself." I close my eyes, remembering the way Damien always changed the subject when I asked about his work. How Penelope encouraged me to let him handle all our financial planning. The pieces are forming a picture I'm not sure I'm ready to see. "Send me everything," I say. "Violet, be careful. This isn't just about affairs or betrayal anymore. The numbers I'm seeing, this is serious fraud, the kind that ruins lives." As if on cue, my phone buzzes with a text from Damien. "We need to talk. Come home." I stare at his message, thinking about the empire I've built in secret over the last 5 years. The one neither he nor Penelope know about. They think they're the only ones with hidden lives. "Don't worry," I tell Sella. "I know exactly how to handle people who underestimate me. The key turns in my front door lock with a familiar click. I pause, listening. Silence. Damien thinks I'm still at the cafe with Penelope. I have maybe 20 minutes before they realise I'm not coming back. Just enough time. My heels are already off as I slip inside. The house feels different now, like a stage set where I've suddenly glimpsed the scaffolding behind the scenes. Every loving photo on the wall, every carefully chosen piece of furniture feels like a prop in their elaborate performance. I head straight for Damien's home office. The door is locked, but I found the spare key months ago, tucked behind a loose baseboard. My hands are steady as I open the bottom drawer of his desk, the one he thinks I don't know about. The USB drive is exactly where I saw him hide it last week. Back then, I'd assumed it contained work documents. Now I know better. My laptop whirs to life as I plug it in. Folders pop up, dozens of them, labelled with dates going back years. I click one at random and my breath catches. Bank statements, wire transfers, correspondence between Damien and Penelope discussing account numbers and payment schedules. "What are you doing?" I freeze. Penelope stands in the doorway still wearing the same outfit from the cafe. Her face is flushed like she ran here. "Funny," I say, not looking up from the screen. "I was about to ask you the same thing." "Step away from the computer, Vi." Her voice has an edge I've never heard before. "You have no idea what you're getting into." "Actually, I think I'm finally figuring it out." I open another folder. "Want to explain why my husband was transferring $500,000 to your account 3 months before I met him." She takes a step forward. "Those files aren't yours to look at. Neither was my life yours to orchestrate." I stand up, positioning myself between her and the desk. "Did you enjoy it? Watching me fall in love with him? Planning my wedding to your husband?" "He's not—" She stops herself, but not before I catch the slip. "Not your husband," I finish. "Then what is he? Because that photo suggests otherwise." "It's complicated." "Stop saying that!" The words explode out of me. "Stop treating me like I'm too stupid to understand what's happening in my own life. We were trying to protect you." "From what?" "From yourself." She runs her hands through her hair, agitated. "From making the same mistake. God, Violet, you have no idea how long we've been watching you, trying to keep you from—" The front door slams downstairs. Heavy footsteps approach. "Penelope." Damien's voice carries up the stairs. "Is she here?" Something shifts in her expression. Fear. She grabs my arm. "You need to leave. Now." "What?" "Fire escape," she hisses, pushing me toward the window. "Take the drive. Don't let him find you here." I stare at her, trying to make sense of this sudden shift. "Why are you helping me?" "Because I—" She glances at the door. "Because some things are more important than loyalty to him. Go." The window sticks for a moment before sliding up. As I climb out, Penelope's voice stops me. "Vi, I'm sorry. For everything. But please be careful. He's not who you think he is." "Neither are you," I say, but there's less venom in it than before. I make it down the fire escape just as Damien's voice booms from the office above. My phone vibrates. A text from Sella. "Meet me at Riverside Park, bringing Miles. You need to see this." 20 minutes later, I'm sitting on a park bench between Salah and Miles, my longtime family lawyer. The USB drive feels heavy in my pocket. "Look at this," Sella says, passing me a folder. "Financial records from before you met Damien. Notice anything familiar?" I scan the documents, my blood running cold. The transaction patterns match exactly what I found on the drive, but these are from my parents' old accounts. The accounts that were mysteriously drained 7 years ago, leading to their financial ruin. "There's more," Miles says quietly. "Your parents' crash wasn't an accident, Violet. Someone tampered with their brakes." The world tilts sideways. I grip the bench to stay upright. "The police ruled it mechanical failure," I whisper, "because someone paid them to." Sella's voice is gentle. "The same someone who's been orchestrating financial schemes for years. The same someone who married you 3 weeks ago." My phone buzzes again. "Penelope, whatever you find, remember, not everything is as it seems. Some of us were trying to make things right." I look up at Miles and Sella, my mind racing with possibilities. "I need your help," I say. Both of you. Because I'm done being a pawn in someone else's game. The hum of my laptop fills the silence of my temporary apartment as I dig deeper into the files from the USB drive. Each new document feels like another punch to the gut. Wire transfers, shell companies, encrypted emails between Damien and his network of conspirators. My parents' names appear over and over, a digital trail leading straight to their deaths. A knock at the door makes me jump. I close the laptop, heart racing, but it's just Miles with another stack of papers. "You look like hell," he says, setting down coffee beside me. "Thanks." I rub my eyes. "Have you seen the timestamp on these transfers? He was planning this for years before he met me." "That's not all." Miles spreads documents across the table. "Look at the account holders. Notice anything?" I scan the names, then stop. "Wait. This one's registered to Jacoby Walsh." "Your biggest business rival," Miles confirms. "The same man who's been trying to buy out your company for the past year." The pieces click together with sickening clarity. Damien didn't just randomly walk into my coffee shop that day, did he? No. And neither did Penelope enter your life by chance 10 years ago. He hesitates. "There's something else you need to see." He pulls up an email chain on his tablet. My hands shake as I read. It's between Penelope and someone using an encrypted address dated 6 years ago. "I can't keep doing this," Penelope wrote. "She trusts me completely. When she finds out we've been watching her all this time." The reply chills me. "Remember why we started this. Remember what happened to Sarah." "Who's Sarah?" I ask. Miles pulls up an old news article. The photo shows a young woman, maybe my age, smiling at the camera. The headline reads, "Local business owner dies in suspicious fire." "Sarah was like you," Miles says quietly. "Smart, ambitious, built her company from nothing. Then she started dating Damien." "When?" "8 years ago. 6 months later, her business was in ruins, her accounts were drained, and she died in a fire that was ruled accidental." Just like my parents' crash. My phone buzzes, a text from Jacoby. "We need to talk. Alone. About Damien." "Don't," Miles warns, seeing my expression. "Jacoby's dangerous. So am I." I stand up, gathering my things. And unlike Sarah, I'm not walking into this blind. The restaurant Jacoby chose is upscale but quiet. He's waiting at a corner table, looking exactly like the shark I've always known him to be. "Violet," he stands as I approach. "Thank you for coming." "Skip the pleasantries, what do you want?" He slides a folder across the table. "To show you this. Inside are photos, surveillance shots of Damien meeting with various people. In one, he's handing something to a man I recognize as the detective who investigated my parents' crash." "Why are you showing me this?" "Because contrary to what you might think, I'm not the enemy here." Jacoby leans forward. "Damien approached me last year, wanted me to help take over your company. I played along to gather evidence." I laugh bitterly. "You expect me to believe you're suddenly on my side? I expect you to be smart enough to recognize an ally when you need one." His eyes are serious. "Damien's organization is bigger than you know. You can't fight them alone. And what do you want in return for your help?" "A partnership. Legitimate this time. Your innovation, my resources," he shrugs. "Plus the satisfaction of watching Damien fall." Before I can respond, my phone lights up with a message from Penelope. "Don't trust Jacoby. He's playing both sides." I look up at him, studying his face. "I'll think about it." "Don't think too long." He stands to leave. "Oh, and Violet, check the metadata on those files you stole. You might find something interesting about your friend Penelope." Back home, I do exactly that. What I find sends me rushing to the bathroom, barely making it before I throw up. The files weren't just created by Damien. Some were authored by Penelope, including detailed plans for gaining my trust, dated 11 years ago, before we even met. My phone rings. It's Sella. "We found something," she says without preamble. "About Sarah's death. You need to see this now." I stare at my reflection in the bathroom mirror, at the woman who's been played for a fool by everyone she trusted. I'm on my way. As I grab my keys, another text comes through, from Damien this time. "I know what you took. Last chance to return it before things get ugly." I type back 4 words. Bring it on, darling. The game they started? I'm about to change all the rules. Lightning flashes outside Sella's office window as she hands me a manila envelope. Inside is a single photograph, edges worn with age. My hands tremble as I recognize Sarah, the woman from the news article, standing next to a much younger Penelope. They're both smiling, arms around each other like old friends. Where did you find this? My voice sounds distant to my own ears. Police evidence storage. Sella perches on her desk. It was buried in Sarah's case file. There's more. She pulls out her laptop. Sarah and Penelope were roommates in college, best friends. Until Sarah died in that fire. The pieces start shifting in my mind, forming a new picture. After meeting Damien. Here's where it gets interesting. Sella turns the screen toward me. I found Penelope's original police statement. She suspected Damien was behind Sarah's death, but couldn't prove it. A week later, she withdrew her statement and started working with him instead. He threatened her, I whisper, remembering Penelope's fear when she helped me escape through the window. That's why she's been watching me, not to help him, but to protect you? Sella raises an eyebrow. The way she couldn't protect Sarah? My phone buzzes. Miles. Emergency. Damien's lawyers just filed for emergency asset freezer. All assets. Cold dread pools in my stomach. I'd been careful, building my secret empire through layers of shell companies and trusted proxies. But if Damien found a way to trace it back to me... He's making his move, I tell Sella. He knows I have the evidence. He's trying to strip me of everything before I can use it. Then we move faster. She pulls up another document. Remember that detective who investigated your parents' crash? He's willing to talk. Tonight. Rain drums against my windshield as I drive to the meeting point, an all-night diner on the outskirts of town. The detective, Marcus, is already there, nursing a coffee with shaking hands. I don't have much time, he says as I slide into the booth. They're watching me. Tell me about my parents' crash. He pulls out a crumpled envelope. It wasn't just the brakes. Someone had accessed their GPS system, altered their route, made sure they'd be on that mountain road at exactly the right moment. Damien? Marcus shakes his head. Bigger than him. He's just a player in something much larger. A network of people who target successful businesses, drain them through elaborate fraud schemes. Your parents were getting too close to uncovering it. And Sarah? Same pattern, but Penelope complicated things. She wasn't supposed to start investigating on her own. When she threatened to go public, he glances nervously at the door. Damien gave her a choice. Work with them or join Sarah. My phone lights up with a text from an unknown number. Back off now or what happened to Sarah won't be an accident this time. I show Marcus the message. His face goes pale. You need to understand something, he says urgently. This isn't just about money anymore. These people, they have connections everywhere. Police, judges, banks. The whole system is... The diner's window explodes. I dive under the table as gunshots ring out. Glass rains down around us. Through the chaos, I see Marcus slump forward, red blooming across his chest. Tires screech outside. I crawl to Marcus, but his eyes are already empty, the envelope clutched in his lifeless hand. Sirens wail in the distance as I run to my car, heart pounding. My phone rings. Penelope. Vi, thank God. Are you okay? I just heard... Did you know? I cut her off. About Sarah. About all of it. A long pause. Yes, her voice breaks. I thought I could stop it from happening again. I thought if I played along, got close to you first, I could protect you better than I protected her. By lying to me for 10 years. By keeping you alive. She's crying now. But it's different this time. You're different, stronger than Sarah was, and I'm done playing their game. Police cars appear in my rearview mirror. Prove it, I say. Meet me at midnight. Bring everything you have on Damien. On all of them. It's time to finish what Sarah started. Violet, wait. I hang up as my phone buzzes with another message from Damien. You should have taken the warning. Now it's war. I touch the USB drive in my pocket, thinking of Marcus bleeding out in that diner, of Sarah in her burning building, of my parents on that mountain road. Game on, I whisper, pressing the accelerator. Behind me, the storm grows stronger, matching the darkness in my heart. My footsteps echo through the empty parking garage as I approach our meeting spot. It's 11:58 p.m., and every shadow feels like a threat. Marcus's blood is still crusted under my fingernails. I haven't had time to properly clean up since the diner shooting. A car door slams somewhere in the darkness. I spin around, heart racing, but it's just Penelope emerging from behind a concrete pillar. She looks different, harder somehow, like she's finally dropped her mask. "Were you followed?" she asks, scanning the shadows. "No. You?" She shakes her head, pulling out a laptop. "We don't have much time. Damien's people are everywhere, and after what happened to Marcus, you knew they'd kill him, didn't you?" Her hands pause on the keyboard. "I knew they were capable of it. Just like they killed Sarah when she got too close. Tell me everything. From the beginning." She takes a deep breath. "Sarah discovered the fraud network by accident. She was brilliant with numbers, like you. Started noticing patterns in her clients' accounts. When she brought her concerns to her new boyfriend, Damien, he reported back to his real employers. Yes, but Sarah had already copied evidence, given it to me for safekeeping." Penelope's voice catches. "The night of the fire, I was supposed to meet her. She never showed." A car engine rumbles in the distance. We both tense, but it passes. "The next day," she continues, "Damien came to see me, showed me photos of my family, said accidents could happen to anyone." Her laugh is bitter. "That's when I realized Sarah's death wasn't a message to her. It was a message to me." "So you agreed to help them target me instead?" "I agreed to watch you, to get close enough to protect you." She turns the laptop toward me, but I never stopped gathering evidence. Every meeting, every transaction, every player in their network, it's all here. I scan the files, my breath catching. Names, dates, bank records, enough to bring down not just Damien, but the entire organization. Why show me this now? Because of what happened after Sarah died. She pulls up a video file. Watch. The footage is grainy security camera video from a hospital. I recognize Damien, younger but unmistakable, arguing with someone in a hospital room. The timestamp matches the day after Sarah's death. "Turn up the audio," I say. "Can't keep doing this." Damien's voice is distorted but clear. "People are dying." "People die every day," a familiar voice responds. My blood runs cold as Jacoby steps into frame. "The question is, are you strong enough to make sure you're not one of them?" The video ends. I look at Penelope. Jacoby's not just playing both sides. He's been running this from the start. Yes. And now he's using you to take out his biggest liability. "Damien," my phone buzzes. A message from Jacoby. "Time's running out. Partner with me or watch everything you've built burn." "He's right about one thing," I say. "Time is running out, but not for me." Suddenly, lights flood the garage. Car engines roar to life all around us. "Vi," Penelope's voice shakes. "Remember how I asked if you were followed?" Black SUVs emerge from the shadows surrounding us. Men in suits step out, guns raised. Damien emerges from one vehicle, Jacoby from another. "Ladies," Damien calls out, smiling that familiar crooked smile that once made me weak in the knees. Now it just makes me sick. "I believe you have something that belongs to us." "Actually," Jacoby steps forward, "they have something that belongs to me. Don't you, Penelope?" She stiffens beside me. "I don't." "The backup drive," he cuts her off. "The one you made the night Sarah died. The one you've been using to build your own little insurance policy all these years." I turn to her slowly. "Pen?" Her hand slips into her jacket pocket, withdrawing a small drive. "I'm sorry, Vi. I couldn't tell you everything. Not until I knew who you'd choose." "Enough games," Damien snaps. "Hand it over. Both drives. Now." I look between them. Damien with his false charm, Jacoby with his calculated menace. Then at Penelope, who's spent a decade walking a tightrope between protection and betrayal. My phone vibrates one last time. Selah. "Teams in position. Give the word." I take Penelope's hand, feeling the drive press between our palms. You want to see who I choose? I squeeze her hand, hoping she understands. She squeezes back. I choose justice, I say, and press send. The garage erupts in chaos as FBI agents swarm in from every exit. But in the confusion, Damien locks eyes with me, his expression promising this isn't over. He's right. This is just the beginning. Cameras flash like lightning as I step up to the podium. The hotel's grand ballroom is packed with reporters, all hungry for the story I'm about to tell. 3 hours ago, Damien and Jacoby were led away in handcuffs. Now it's time to finish what Sarah started. My hands don't shake as I adjust the microphone. Behind me, Penelope stands with Sella and Miles, a united front. In the front row, Ella gives me an encouraging nod. 10 years ago, I begin, a young woman named Sarah discovered something dangerous. A network of financial predators who destroyed businesses, ruined lives, and eliminated anyone who threatened to expose them. She died trying to bring them to justice. More cameras flash. I see the reporters leaning forward, scenting blood in the water. 7 years ago, my parents died in what appeared to be a tragic accident. Today, I can prove these deaths were connected. Today, I have evidence that will expose not just the killers, but the entire criminal enterprise they served. The ballroom doors burst open. Damien strides in, flanked by his lawyers. My heart pounds, but I don't stop speaking. For those wondering how he's here, money buys excellent lawyers and quick bail, but money can't erase evidence. Damien's face twists with familiar contempt as he takes a seat. I meet his gaze directly. My husband thought he chose an easy target. A woman so desperate for love she'd ignore the red flags. What he didn't know was that I'd spent years building something he couldn't touch. A parallel empire hidden in plain sight. I nod to Sella, who starts the presentation. Financial records fill the screens around us. Every transaction, every shell company, every bribe and blackmail payment. It's all here, verified and documented, including... I pause, letting the tension build. Proof of their involvement in Sarah's death and my parents' murder. Damien stands abruptly. This is slander. My lawyers will... Your lawyers might want to see this first. I pull out my phone, playing the audio I recorded in his office years ago. His voice fills the room, discussing Sarah's accident with Jacoby. The colour drains from his face. You really should sweep for bugs more often, darling. I smile, channeling his own condescension back at him. Especially in gifts from your wife? Chaos erupts as federal agents stream into the room. This time there will be no quick bail. The evidence is too overwhelming, the charges too severe. You stupid bitch, Damien snarls as they approach. You have no idea what you've done. There are people above me, above Jacoby. I know exactly what I've done. I step down from the podium, walking toward him. I've done what Sarah couldn't, what my parents died trying to do. I've exposed every level of your operation, including your mysterious superiors. His eyes widen as understanding hits. The offshore accounts? Already frozen. Amazing what happens when you have friends in international banking. I lean close, whispering so only he can hear. You taught me well, honey. Always have a backup plan. As they lead him away, I feel Penelope's hand slip into mine. Sarah would be proud, she says softly. So would your parents, Ella adds, embracing me. The reporters surge forward, questions flying like arrows. But before I can respond, a commotion breaks out near the doors. Jacoby appears, somehow free despite the earlier arrest. Impressive show, he calls out, approaching the podium. But you forgot one thing. Did I? He pulls out his phone. Insurance policy. One button, and certain sensitive documents go public. Documents that could ruin everyone in this room, including your precious Penelope. The room goes silent. I feel Penelope stiffen beside me. You're right, I say calmly. Those documents could ruin lives. That's why I already released them myself. What? Check your feeds. I nod to the reporters who are already scrolling through their phones. Full disclosure. Every document, every secret, including the ones you thought were safely buried. His face contorts. You're bluffing. Am I? Sarah taught me something through her death. Secrets only have power in the darkness. I stepped toward him. So I dragged everything into the light. No more shadows for you to hide in. As if on cue, more agents appear behind him. This time, there will be no escape. It's over, I tell him. The empire you built on other people's pain, I just burned it to the ground. Later, as the dust settles and statements are given, I stand at the window watching the city lights. Penelope joins me, her reflection ghostly in the glass. What now? She asks. I think of Sarah, of my parents, of all the lives destroyed by men who thought they were untouchable. Now, I say, we rebuild, but this time, we do it right. Behind us, the reporters are still shouting questions, but for the first time since my wedding day, I feel at peace. The truth, finally, is free. Morning sunlight streams through my office window as I sort through the last of the evidence boxes. The media frenzy has finally died down, but the ripple effects of our exposé continue spreading. Each day brings new revelations, new arrests, new pieces of the puzzle clicking into place. A knock at the door makes me look up. Penelope stands there holding 2 coffee cups, just like she used to in what feels like another lifetime. Thought you might need this, she says, setting one beside me. Still take it black? Some things don't change. I gesture to the chair across from me. Though most things do. She sits, studying my face. You look better. More like yourself. Funny. I was just thinking I don't know who that person was anymore. The woman who stood at that altar, so desperate to believe in love that she ignored every warning sign. You were always stronger than you knew. Penelope picks up one of the photos from my desk. Sarah's smiling face looks back at us. She knew it too. That's why they were so afraid of you both. I take a sip of coffee, letting the familiar bitter taste ground me. There's something I never asked you. That night at the garage, when everything went down, you could have given Jacoby the drive. Saved yourself. Why didn't you? She's quiet for a long moment. Because Sarah died alone. Because I've spent 10 years trying to atone for that night. And because... She meets my eyes. You showed me there's always another way, if you're brave enough to take it. My phone buzzes, a text from Miles. Judge denied final appeal. Sentencing tomorrow. It's really over, I breathe. Not quite. Penelope pulls an envelope from her bag. There's one last piece you need to see. Inside is a letter, dated just days before Sarah's death. My hands tremble as I read, My dearest P, if you're reading this, something has happened to me. But I need you to know, what we discovered goes deeper than we imagined. The evidence isn't just in the files. It's in the coffee shop. The one where we first met, where everything began. Look for the loose brick in the back wall. And whatever you do, don't trust. The letter ends abruptly. I found this last week, Penelope says quietly. Hidden in Sarah's old apartment. The new owners were renovating. The coffee shop. My mind races. My coffee shop, the one where Damien supposedly met me by chance. Nothing was by chance, Vi. They chose that location specifically because Sarah had hidden something there. I'm already grabbing my keys. Something they never found. The drive across town feels endless. When we arrive, the shop is quiet. I'd closed it temporarily after everything happened. The back wall looks exactly as it always has, weathered brick stretching up toward the sky. There, Penelope points to a brick near the ground. It shifts slightly under pressure. My heart pounds as I work it free. Behind it is a small cavity containing a USB drive and a folded piece of paper. Sarah's handwriting covers both sides. To whoever finds this, congratulations. You've just discovered the key to bringing down not just the network, but the people who really run it. The ones hiding in plain sight. Check the timestamps on the security footage. Cross-reference with the bank transfers. Most importantly, look at who was in position to orchestrate everything from the beginning, including my death. I plug the drive into my laptop with shaking hands. As the files load, A familiar face appears in the security footage. "Oh my God," Penelope whispers. "All this time," I say. "We thought we'd exposed everyone, but the real puppet master was right in front of us." My phone rings Ella's number, but now I understand why she always seemed to know exactly where to be, what to say, how to guide me towards specific decisions. I let it go to voicemail. "What do we do?" Penelope asks. I close the laptop, tucking it and Sarah's letter safely away. "We finish what she started, what my parents died trying to expose, what everyone who's ever been destroyed by these people deserves. They'll come after us. Let them." I stand up, brushing brick dust from my hands. I'm not that scared girl at the altar anymore, and I'm done playing by their rules. Penelope takes my hand, squeezing once. "Together?" I think of Sarah's courage, of my parents' sacrifice, of every lesson learned on this journey of betrayal and redemption. Together. The morning sun catches the diamond on my finger. Not my wedding ring, which lies discarded in a drawer, but my mother's ring. A reminder that some bonds can't be broken, some truths can't be buried, and some fights are worth any cost. "Time to write our own ending," I say and step into the light.